Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about the Washington quarter dollar coin, a familiar piece of change with more to it than meets the eye. First introduced in the 1930s, this coin features George Washington on the front and has gone through many design changes over the years. Some are common, but others can be rare and valuable. Let's explore the history, varieties, and surprises hidden in the Washington quarter. The 1965 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark is a significant coin in United States numismatic history. It marks a turning point in American coinage due to the shift in composition from 90% silver to a copper-nickel-clad structure. This transition was prompted by a nationwide coin shortage and rising silver prices in the early 1960s, which made the continued use of silver in everyday coinage impractical. The Coinage Act of 1965 formally introduced this change, and the first quarters produced under this new legislation were the 1965 Washington quarters. These coins no longer contained silver and instead featured a copper core bonded with outer layers of cupronickel, giving them a silvery appearance while being more affordable to produce. The 1965 Washington quarter does not carry a mint mark, which was part of a temporary policy during this period. To discourage coin hoarding and alleviate public confusion caused by mint marks, collectors were told that mint marks would be omitted from coins between 1965 and 1967. As a result, all Washington quarters minted during these years lack mint marks, regardless of their origin, whether from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Therefore, the absence of a mint mark on a 1965 quarter is completely normal and does not indicate rarity, but rather aligns with this short-lived policy aimed at maintaining coin circulation. The obverse of the 1965 quarter features the familiar left-facing profile of George Washington based on a design originally created by John Flanagan in the 1930s. The portrait is detailed with Washington's distinctive hairstyle and strong facial features. Surrounding the image are inscriptions such as the word liberty, the national motto, and the year 1965. The overall design conveys dignity and respect for the first president of the United States and has been a consistent presence on the quarter for many decades prior to the state quarters program, which began in 1999. The reverse of the coin depicts a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings clutching a bundle of arrows. Beneath the eagle lies an olive branch representing peace, while the arrows signify strength and readiness. This design is symmetrical and bold, conveying traditional American values and ideals. The inscriptions on the reverse include the name of the country and the coin's denomination, which is quarter dollar. This reverse remained unchanged for many years and became iconic in American coinage. In circulated condition, the 1965 Washington quarter typically shows signs of wear that may include smoothing of the high points, light scratches, or dulling of the original luster. These signs of circulation are expected given the age of the coin and its extensive use in commerce over the decades. While such wear affects numismatic value, it adds a sense of authenticity and history to the coin. Every scratch and smudge tells a story of the coin's journey through countless transaction stores, pockets, and cash registers over the years. The transition to clad coinage marked by the 1965 quarter was a major moment in United States mint history. Previously, quarters contained 90% silver, making them valuable not just for their face value, but also for their metal content. As silver prices increased, people began hoarding coins for their bullion value, leading to shortages in circulation. By introducing the copper-nickel-clad quarter, the mint was able to alleviate this issue while preserving the public's confidence in the coinage system. Although some collectors lamented the loss of silver, the clad quarter became a long-lasting and practical solution. The 1965 quarter also serves as an accessible coin for those beginning a collection. Since it is widely available and was minted in very large quantities, it allows new collectors to own a piece of American numismatic history without high cost. It represents the beginning of modern coinage in many ways, as it set the precedent for all quarters that followed until the new designs were introduced with the state quarters program. For those building a date set of Washington quarters, the 1965 issue is essential not only for completeness, but also because of its pivotal role in the evolution of United States coinage. From an economic perspective, the coin reminds us of the adaptability of a monetary system in response to changing market conditions. The United States government's decision to switch from silver to clad coinage reflected a careful balance of economic necessity and public trust. Despite the removal of silver from the coin, its purchasing power and general use remained intact for decades. The success of the 1965 quarter helped set the stage for further modernization in the minting process and cost efficiency in currency production. Even though the 1965 Washington quarter does not command a high premium on the collector market when in circulated condition, it is still of historical importance. It is a coin that has served its purpose for generations of Americans and continues to be found in everyday change. While it may not be rare or visually pristine, it holds significance as a milestone in the evolution of U.S. coinage. It stands as a symbol of change, adaptation, and continuity, all in one small piece of metal. The 1999 Delaware State Quarter Dollar is a significant coin in the history of modern United States coinage, as it marked the beginning of the highly successful 50 state quarters program launched by the United States Mint. This program began in 1999 and continued through 2008, releasing 5 new quarters each year in the order that the states joined the Union, Delaware being the first state to ratify the United States Constitution on December 7, 1787, earned the honor of being the first state commemorated in this series. The design on the reverse side of the Delaware State Quarter features Caesar Rodney, a key figure in American Revolutionary history. The artwork shows Rodney on horseback galloping with urgency to cast his vote for American independence in 1776. This iconic image captures a dramatic and pivotal moment in United States history. Caesar Rodney rode approximately 70 miles through difficult weather and terrain from Dover, Delaware to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in order to vote in favor of independence at the Continental Congress. His decisive action helped lead to the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. This ride became a symbol of dedication and patriotism and was chosen to represent Delaware's deep historical significance in the founding of the nation. The reverse design was created by artist William Cousins and includes inscriptions naming the state, the year it joined the Union, and the year of coin issuance. The image of Caesar Rodney is rendered in a classic style with fine details capturing the motion and determination of the ride. This depiction is both historically meaningful and visually compelling, serving as a tribute to Delaware's role in American history. While the coin's artwork is modest in composition, it carries a powerful narrative that continues to resonate with historians, educators, and collectors alike. On the obverse side of the coin is the standard portrait of George Washington, which had been a consistent feature of the quarter dollar since 1932. This portrait was originally designed by John Flanagan and has undergone only minor modifications over the decades. For the State Quarter series, the obverse was slightly redesigned to better accommodate the inscriptions related to each state issue, while maintaining the classic profile of Washington facing left. This continuity provided a visual anchor across the entire State Quarter series, making the varied reverse designs stand out even more. This particular 1999 Delaware State Quarter is described as having some scratches, which is typical for coins that have been in circulation. Scratches can occur from regular handling transactions and storage conditions, and while they may reduce the coin's condition grade, they do not erase its historical or cultural value. A coin with light surface scratches may still be considered collectible, especially if it holds significance as part of a complete 50-state collection. Circulated coins often carry a story of their own, having passed through many hands and played a role in everyday commerce, while also representing a piece of national identity. The Delaware Quarter holds a special place among state quarters, not only because it was the first to be released, but also because it launched a renewed national interest in coin collecting. The 50 State Quarters program brought millions of Americans into the world of numismatics, sparking curiosity and engagement across all age groups. Many people began collecting coins from their pocket change, and the initiative inspired families, students, and collectors to learn more about each state's history and symbols. The program was also an educational tool encouraging awareness of American geography, culture, and government. As the inaugural coin of the program, the Delaware quarter set the tone for what would become one of the most popular coin series in United States history. The Mint's effort to highlight each state's unique contribution to the nation's story was widely praised, and the quarters themselves became cultural artifacts representing a blend of monetary function and national pride. This coin continues to be sought after by collectors, especially in high grades, though even well-circulated examples hold sentimental and historic appeal. In summary, the 1999 Delaware State Quarter is a foundational piece of the modern American coin landscape. It commemorates a defining moment in Revolutionary history through the image of Caesar Rodney and serves as a powerful reminder of the courage and urgency that shaped the nation's independence. Despite showing some scratches, this coin still represents the beginning of a groundbreaking coin program and a meaningful tribute to Delaware's place in American history. Whether collected for its numismatic value or appreciated for its historical significance, the Delaware quarter remains an enduring and valuable item in any collection. Its story is one of bravery, dedication, and legacy, and it continues to inspire reflection on the foundational moments of the United States. The 1988 Washington quarter dollar is part of a coin series that has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1932. This quarter bears the image of George Washington on the obverse side and was created to honor the bicentennial of his birth. The letter D indicates that this particular coin was minted at the Denver Mint, which is one of the United States Mint's primary production facilities. The Washington quarter has long been a familiar piece of everyday commerce, and its enduring design and historical connections make it a favorite among coin collectors and those interested in American numismatics. On the obverse side of the 1988 D quarter is the portrait of George Washington designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This portrait has been used on the quarter since 1932. It is one of the longest-running coin portraits in the history of U.S. coinage. Washington is shown in profile, facing left with his hair tied back in a colonial-style queue. The inscriptions above his head read the name of the nation, while the word liberty appears to the left of the portrait, and the year 1988 is positioned below. To the right of the portrait is the Denver Mint Mark D, which tells collectors and historians that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse side of the 1988 D quarter features an eagle with outstretched wings standing on a bundle of arrows, which are symbolic of strength and readiness to defend the nation. Below the arrows is an olive branch symbolizing peace. The combination of the olive branch and arrows has long been used in American iconography to convey the country's commitment to peace coupled with the strength to protect itself when necessary. The words United States of America are inscribed along the top rim of the coin, while the denomination quarter dollar appears along the bottom. Above the eagle is the national motto, which reaffirms a strong and unifying principle for the nation. The condition of this particular coin is described as good, which suggests that while the coin has experienced circulation, it still maintains a clear design with all major elements visible. In numismatic terms, a coin in good condition is not mint state, but is still very much collectible and representative of its issue. There may be wear on the highest points of the design, such as Washington's hair details or the feathers of the eagle. The coin may lack the original mint luster and may have minor scratches or abrasions from use over time. Nevertheless, it retains its integrity and usefulness, and it still holds both historical and monetary value. By 1988, the Washington quarter had become a routine part of financial transactions throughout the United States. Coins of this denomination were commonly used in parking meters, vending machines, payphones, and day-to-day purchases. The quarter was an essential denomination, and this ubiquity ensured that the Washington quarter became one of the most recognized coins in American life. In 1988, there were no special commemorative editions of the quarter issued, so the standard design continued unchanged from earlier years. This consistency helped maintain the coin's familiarity and functionality. The late 1980s were a period of transition and technological advancement in the United States. The economy was growing, the Cold War was nearing its end, and technology was rapidly reshaping how people lived and worked. The 1988 Washington quarter circulated during this time represents more than just a piece of change. It symbolizes a moment in American history when the country was on the edge of entering the digital age. People still relied heavily on coins and cash during this time, unlike today, when electronic payments are more common. Holding such a coin can serve as a reminder of the physical nature of everyday life in the 1980s and how coins like this were a trusted medium of exchange. The 1988 quarter was minted from a copper-nickel-clad composition, which replaced the silver content that had been used in quarters minted before 1965. This clad composition includes a core of pure copper and outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy, which gave the coin its distinctive silvery appearance. The move to a clad coinage system was prompted by the rising cost of silver and the need to keep the production of coins economical for the U.S. government. While these clad coins are less intrinsically valuable than their silver predecessors, they have performed well in terms of durability and ease of mass production. Collecting Washington quarters can be a rewarding hobby, and coins like the 1988 are important for those who seek to compile complete sets of each date and mint mark. The coin's good condition means it is likely to be appreciated more for its historical value than its numismatic rarity, but it still plays an essential role in completing a collection. Even circulated examples help tell the story of the coin's evolution and its role in the broader context of American coinage. Proper storage of coins like the 1988 Washington quarter helps ensure their preservation over time. Coins should ideally be kept in protective holders or albums that minimize exposure to air, moisture, and contaminants. Cleaning circulated coins is not recommended as it can remove surface details and diminish the coin's natural appearance, allowing the coin to age naturally with its patina, and where is generally preferred among collectors who value the authenticity of a coin's journey through circulation. Next up we have the 2012 state quarter dollar is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which began in 2010 and was designed to celebrate national parks and sites of natural or historical significance across the United States and its territories. Unlike the earlier 50 state quarters program, which focused on each state's unique symbols or history, this series highlights specific landmarks, national parks, forests, and preserves. The year 2012 marked the third full year of releases under this program and included 5 different quarters, each representing a distinct site from a different state. These included El Yunque National Forest in Puerto Rico, Chaco Culture National Historical Park in New Mexico, Acadia National Park in Maine, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park in Hawaii, and Denali National Park and Preserve in Alaska. A 2012 state quarter dollar in good condition is a coin that has seen some circulation but retains most of its original details and design. It shows moderate wear and some smoothing in the higher points of the design, but overall the imagery and inscriptions remain clear and legible. A good condition coin may have slight surface marks from handling, but does not exhibit any severe damage that would greatly diminish its appeal. This type of circulated coin is still a valued piece for collectors, especially those who are completing the full set of America the Beautiful Quarters. Each of the 5 quarters released in 2012 has a unique reverse design reflecting the natural or cultural importance of its featured site. The El Yunque National Forest quarter depicts a Puerto Rican parrot perched on a branch and a coqui tree frog in the background surrounded by tropical foliage. This design symbolizes the rich biodiversity and ecological significance of the forest, which is the only tropical rainforest in the United States National Forest System. Chaco Culture National Historical Park in New Mexico is known for its ancient ruins and archaeological significance. Its quarter shows a view of two elevated kivas against the backdrop of the Chedro Kettle Great House, showcasing the advanced engineering and societal structure of the ancestral Puebloan people. The Acadia National Park quarter portrays a detailed image of the Base Harbor Head Lighthouse perched on a rocky coastline with the Atlantic Ocean stretching out in the background. This image captures the rugged natural beauty and historic value of one of Maine's most visited landmarks. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park is depicted with a powerful scene of an erupting volcano, symbolizing the creation and ongoing transformation of the Hawaiian Islands through volcanic activity. The final quarter of the year features Denali National Park and Preserve in Alaska and shows a majestic Dall sheep standing on a ridge, with the towering Mount McKinley, also known as Denali, in the distance. This design highlights both the unique wildlife and dramatic landscapes of Alaska. All 5 of these quarters feature the familiar obverse design of George Washington facing left, which has been used on quarter dollars since 1932. The portrait was originally created by sculptor John Flanagan and was modified slightly for the America the Beautiful series to allow space for additional inscriptions. The inscriptions include the words United States of America, Liberty, in God We Trust, and the denomination quarter dollar. The mint mark appears below the motto In God We Trust to the right of Washington's neck. The America the Beautiful series, including the 2012 issues, was well received by the public and coin collectors alike. It continued the momentum of interest in coin collecting that was initiated by the earlier 50 state quarters program and allowed collectors to explore the beauty and diversity of the American landscape through numismatics. Each coin not only represents a physical location, but also tells a story about the natural environment, historical events, and cultural heritage of that site. For collectors, a 2012 quarter in good condition still holds meaningful value, especially as part of a complete collection of the series. It may not be uncirculated or in mint condition, but it preserves the essence of the design and remains a recognizable and respectful tribute to the location it honors. Even in circulated form, these coins can be appreciated for their artistic detail and the role they play in commemorating America's national treasures. In everyday use, these quarters continue to serve their purpose in commerce, but many individuals recognize them for more than their face value. They are educational tools, conversation starters, and small tokens of pride in the country's heritage. Children and adults alike often take interest in identifying the different quarters and learning about the places they represent. Coin collecting as a hobby was revitalized by these kinds of series that go beyond traditional designs to include storytelling and visual representation of real American landmarks. Next up we have the 1991 P. Washington quarter dollar is a widely circulated coin that forms part of the enduring Washington quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This particular quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the letter P position just to the right of George Washington's ponytail on the obverse side of the coin. The coin represents a typical example of everyday United States currency from the early 1990s and is composed of a copper core with a cupronickel outer layer, giving it the silver-like appearance common to modern quarters minted after the discontinuation of silver coinage in 1964. The obverse of the 1991 P. Washington quarter features the classic left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Washington is shown with a calm, dignified expression, and his hair is tied back in the traditional colonial style. The inscriptions on the obverse include the name of the country, the word Liberty, the year of mintage, which is 1991, and the mint mark P indicating its origin at the Philadelphia Mint. The design remained largely unchanged throughout the decades leading up to the start of the state quarters program, 1999, making this 1991 quarter part of the long-standing original Washington quarter series. On the reverse side of the coin, an eagle is prominently displayed with its wings spread wide as it perches on a bundle of arrows. Below the arrows lies an olive branch, which along with the arrows symbolizes the balance between peace and strength. The upper part of the reverse includes the name of the issuing country and the national motto, while the bottom features the denomination of the coin, which is quarter dollar. This imagery and symbolism remain consistent with the original vision of the quarter and reflect the values of the United States in both times of peace and potential conflict. The condition of this specific coin is described as circulated, which means it has been used in everyday transactions and likely shows visible signs of wear. Coins in circulated condition may exhibit surface marks, worn edges, or slight smoothing of the fine details on both the obverse and reverse. Despite these cosmetic effects, circulated coins still carry historical and collector interest, especially for those who value coins for their role in American commerce and history. The wear on this coin tells a story of decades of use, whether in pocket change cash registers or coin collections passed through countless hands since its production over 30 years ago. In 1991, the Washington quarter remained one of the most commonly used coins in the United States. It was accepted in a wide variety of everyday settings, including vending machines, parking meters, and toll booths, and it continued to hold significant purchasing power, especially for small items and daily transactions. The early 1990s were a transitional time in both the United States economy and technology, with personal computers becoming more common and the internet beginning to take shape. Despite the emergence of digital innovations, coins such as the 1991 P quarter still played a crucial role in the physical exchange of money and goods. From a numismatic perspective, the 1991 P quarter is not considered rare, but it is still of interest. Too many collectors, especially those assembling complete date and mint mark sets of Washington quarters, while uncirculated and proof examples are valued higher among collectors. A circulated example like this one remains a valuable piece for educational purposes, general interest, or to complete a comprehensive timeline of United States quarters. These coins serve as important historical references and provide a tangible link to the monetary practices of their time. The composition of the 1991 quarter includes a core of pure copper with outer layers of a copper and nickel alloy. This clad structure was adopted in the mid-1960s to reduce production costs and extend the lifespan of circulating coins. The change from silver to clad coinage did not significantly alter the size or basic appearance of the coins, but it did represent a major shift in the way money was produced and valued. The 1991 quarter continues this tradition, offering durability and wide circulation capability while maintaining the familiar design that Americans had trusted for generations. Maintaining a circulated coin, such as the 1991 P quarter, in good condition involves careful handling and proper storage. Even though the coin has already been used in commerce, storing it in a dry environment and avoiding unnecessary handling can prevent further deterioration. It is generally advised not to clean circulated coins, especially if they are part of a collection, because cleaning can diminish their appeal to collectors and may remove subtle details that are part of the coin's history. The significance of this coin extends beyond its face value. It represents a small but meaningful piece of American heritage. It reflects a time when physical coins were central to economic interaction and when traditional designs continued to reinforce national identity through their symbolism and consistency. Whether found in a drawer, a coin roll, or a personal collection, the 1991 P Washington quarter dollar remains a steadfast reminder of both the enduring legacy of George Washington and the evolving story of the United States Mint. Next up, we have the 2000 New Hampshire State Quarter Dollar is part of the 50 State Quarters program, which was launched by the United States Mint in 1999. This ambitious initiative aimed to release a unique quarter for each of the 50 states, with 5 new designs released each year in the order that the states ratified the Constitution or were admitted into the Union. New Hampshire, being the 9th state, joined the Union on June 21st, 1788, and its commemorative quarter was released in 2000. The coin features a design that captures an important symbol of the state along with a notable motto that reflects the spirit and history of its people. The reverse side of the 2000 New Hampshire quarter showcases the iconic natural rock formation known as the Old Man of the Mountain. This rock profile located on Cannon Mountain in the White Mountains of New Hampshire was a beloved symbol of the state until it collapsed in 2003 due to natural erosion. The design on the coin shows the Old Man of the Mountain in fine detail, with the surrounding mountainous terrain subtly engraved to provide context. Along with this imagery, the state motto "Live Free or Die" is inscribed, a phrase attributed to Revolutionary War hero General John Stark. This motto has become deeply associated with New Hampshire's values emphasizing independence, personal freedom, and self-reliance. The obverse side of the coin retains the standard design used for all quarters in this series, featuring a profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The portrait was originally created by John Flanagan and has remained a standard on American quarters since 1932. It is accompanied by inscriptions such as "United States of America, Liberty, in God We Trust," and quarter dollar. The mint mark identifying the location where the coin was produced appears near the lower right of the portrait. A 2000 New Hampshire state quarter in circulated condition means that the coin has been used in everyday transactions and has passed through many hands since its release. As a result, signs of wear are typically present. These can include light surface scratches, worn edges, dullness in the luster, and minor smoothing in the finer details of the design. Despite these signs of use, a circulated coin still retains all of its essential features and remains a collectible item, especially for those aiming to complete the full 50-state series. While not as pristine or valuable as an uncirculated or proof coin, a circulated example still carries historical and educational significance. The story behind the Old Man of the Mountain adds an emotional element to this coin. The natural formation had been a source of pride for New Hampshire residents for centuries, and it was even adopted as the official state emblem in 1945. When the formation collapsed in May 2003, the state mourned its loss, but the image continues to live on through places such as the state quarter. Many residents and visitors viewed the coin as a lasting tribute to the beloved granite profile and the values it represented. For collectors, the New Hampshire quarter is more than a piece of currency. It offers a glimpse into the state's cultural and natural identity. Its motto, "Live Free or Die," stands as one of the most striking and bold statements on any U.S. coin, and its presence makes this particular quarter stand out among the rest in the series. Combined with the detailed depiction of the Old Man of the Mountain, this coin tells a story of heritage, natural beauty, and the importance of liberty. Even though it is in circulated condition, this coin continues to hold interest among numismatists and history enthusiasts. The wear adds character and speaks to the journey the coin has taken since its release. It may have passed through small towns and big cities, served as change in local stores, or been kept in a pocket by someone who appreciated its message. Each mark or faded detail is a sign of use and connection, which for many collectors adds to the coin's narrative value. The release of the New Hampshire quarter helped bring awareness to the state's historical and geological significance. It sparked curiosity among people across the nation, encouraging them to learn more about New Hampshire, its role in American history, and the meaning behind its powerful motto. Through school programs, coin collecting clubs, and even casual interest among the general public, this coin played a role in spreading knowledge and appreciation for the diverse heritage of the United States. Next up, we have the 1980 to Washington quarter dollar, minted in Philadelphia and bearing no mint mark, is a coin that holds both historical and practical significance in the landscape of United States coinage. Produced during a time of budget constraints and policy changes at the United States Mint, this quarter is part of a fascinating chapter in American numismatic history. While at first glance it may appear to be a common coin, its story offers insight into the economic conditions of the early 1980s and the evolution of the minting process. The 1980 to P quarter is notable not only for its design and composition, but also for its place within a transitional period for the mint. This quarter features the classic design that has become a standard for decades. The obverse bears the portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, facing left. This profile was originally created by sculptor John Flanagan in the early 1930s and has been used on the quarter since 1932 to honor the bicentennial of Washington's birth. The design captures Washington with a calm, dignified expression and his strong presence reflecting his role as a founding figure in American history. The inscriptions on the obverse include the word liberty and the date 1982 along with the phrase, "In God We Trust," which is a staple on all U.S. coinage. The reverse of the 1982 quarter continues the traditional imagery of an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows. Below the eagle lies an olive branch which represents peace, while the arrows symbolize readiness and defense. This emblematic design ties together values such as strength, vigilance, and diplomacy. It remained unchanged for many years and became instantly recognizable to generations of Americans. The words United States of America and quarter dollar are also inscribed on the reverse, encircling the image in a balanced and symmetrical layout. One of the defining characteristics of the 1982 quarter is its composition. Unlike quarters minted before 1965, which were made of 90% silver, the 1982 version is struck from a clad composition consisting of a copper core with outer layers of copper and nickel. This was the standard material adopted after the Coinage Act of 1965, which aimed to reduce the rising cost of producing coins due to the increasing value of silver. The copper-nickel clad composition gives the coin its familiar silvery appearance while being more durable and cost-effective. The Philadelphia Mint produced a large number of quarters in 1980, but there is an interesting twist. That year, due to federal budget cuts and production changes, the Mint did not issue uncirculated mint sets, which means many of the coins from 1982, including the Washington quarter, were not preserved in pristine condition by collectors when they were first released. As a result, high-grade examples of the 1982 quarter are relatively harder to find compared to other years, making well-preserved versions somewhat more sought after by collectors. This also means circulated examples, like the one in good condition, represent what was typical for coins used in everyday commerce during that period. In circulated condition, a 1980 to Washington quarter often exhibits signs of wear such as loss of original mint luster, slight flattening of design details, particularly on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, and possibly small scratches or edge nicks from use. Despite this, the overall design remains clear and easily identifiable. These coins have passed through many hands, serving as part of daily life in stores, banks, vending machines, and countless transactions across the country. Each mark on the coin reflects the wear of time and the functional role it has played in the economy. An important detail about the 1982 quarter is its mint mark, or rather its absence. Quarters minted in Philadelphia traditionally lacked a mint mark until the mid-1980s, when the letter P began to be used more consistently. Therefore, the 1982 quarter technically has no visible mint mark, yet it is attributed to the Philadelphia Mint by default. This detail can be confusing to new collectors, but it is a well-established norm in U.S. numismatics and serves as a small but meaningful clue about the coin's origin. In terms of market value, circulated 1982 quarters are generally considered common due to the high mintage and widespread use. However, as mentioned earlier, examples in higher grades with little to no wear are more difficult to find because of the lack of mint sets that year. For collectors building a date and mint mark set, or those interested in coins from the early 1980s, the 1982 quarter is an essential addition. It bridges the gap between two eras of coinage production and serves as a reminder of the practical challenges faced by the mint during a time of economic adjustment. Next up, we have the 2002 Louisiana State Quarter Dollar is one of the 50 commemorative coins issued as part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which was launched in 1999 and ran until 2008. Each coin in this series highlights a unique aspect of the individual state being represented, and the Louisiana Quarter, released in 2000, stands out for its rich combination of cultural heritage, historical significance, and natural beauty. Louisiana entered the Union on April 30, 1812, making it the 18th state, and the design of its quarter reflects the diverse influences and important events that have shaped its identity over the centuries. The reverse side of the Louisiana state quarter features several elements that come together to tell a powerful story. One of the most striking aspects of the design is the outline of the Louisiana Purchase territory, which was a pivotal moment in American history. The Louisiana Purchase of 1803 involved the acquisition of a massive expanse of land from France, which doubled the size of the United States at the time. This land included what is now the entire state of Louisiana, along with parts of many other states, and its acquisition laid the foundation for the westward expansion of the country. The depiction of this land deal on the coin emphasizes Louisiana's historical importance in the broader narrative of the nation's growth. Also featured prominently in the coin's design is a pelican, which is the state bird of Louisiana and appears on the state flag and seal. The brown pelican is a symbol of nurturing and protection, and it also represents the state's close relationship with its coastal and wetland ecosystems. The bird is depicted gracefully in flight, adding a dynamic visual element to the coin and serving as a reminder of Louisiana's abundant natural resources and its rich wildlife habitats, particularly along the Gulf Coast. Another important symbol on the Louisiana quarter is the trumpet and musical notes, which pay tribute to the state's extraordinary musical heritage. Louisiana is considered the birthplace of jazz and has contributed significantly to the development of American music. Cities like New Orleans have long been recognized for their vibrant music scenes and cultural fusion, where African, European, and Caribbean influences merged to create new styles and rhythms. Jazz in particular has become a universal language of expression and creativity, and its roots in Louisiana are an essential part of the state's legacy. The inclusion of musical imagery on the coin serves to honor this contribution and highlights Louisiana's cultural richness. The reverse side also includes the year of statehood 1812 and the date of the coin's release 2002 along with the state's nickname, which is the Pelican State. This nickname underscores the symbolic importance of the pelican and further connects the design to the identity and pride of the people of Louisiana. The coin was designed to educate as well as to commemorate, encouraging people across the country to learn more about the individual states through engaging and informative artwork. On the obverse side of the coin, as with all state quarters in the series, is the familiar profile of George Washington based on the original design by John Flanagan, first used in 1932. The inscriptions include United States of America, Liberty, in God, We Trust, and quarter dollar. The mint mark indicating where the coin was produced also appears on this side, and collectors often take note of which mint facility a particular coin came from. This particular Louisiana quarter is noted to be in good condition, meaning it has circulated but retains its overall clarity and design details. Coins in good condition may show some signs of wear, such as slight smoothing on the raised surfaces or light contact marks, but the main features of the coin remain visible and attractive. A good condition coin still holds interest for both beginning and experienced collectors, especially those working to complete a full set of the 50 state quarters. Beyond its value as a collectible item, the Louisiana State Quarter also serves as a small artistic tribute to a state known for its cultural vibrancy, historical depth, and natural beauty. From the bayous and wetlands to the bustling streets of New Orleans, Louisiana is a place of contrasts and traditions where music, food, language, and celebration come together in unique and powerful ways. The design captures several of these themes through its symbols and imagery, making the coin more than just a medium of exchange, but also a miniature lesson in American history and culture. Next up we have the 1990 for D Washington quarter dollar is a coin that was produced at the Denver Mint and forms part of the long-running Washington quarter series. Introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States, this design remained a staple in American coinage for decades. The 1994 version continues this iconic tradition with a consistent appearance that many Americans are familiar with even today. Despite being a common coin and widely circulated, the 1994 D quarter still holds historical and collectible interest, especially for those who value the story behind everyday currency. On the obverse side of the coin is the familiar left-facing portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. This portrait has been featured on the quarter since the coin's initial release and was chosen for its stately and enduring representation of Washington's leadership. The image of Washington shows his hair tied back in a queue with calm yet determined facial features capturing his role and shaping the young American Republic. Above his head is the word liberty, while to the left of the image appears the motto "In God We Trust." The date 1994 is located below the bust, and just next to it the small letter D marks the coin as having been minted in Denver. The reverse of the 1994 Washington quarter displays the original eagle design that was standard prior to the release of the 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999. The eagle is perched on a bundle of arrows, a symbol of strength and readiness for defense, while olive branches lie beneath the arrows to symbolize peace. The words United States of America appear across the top rim, and the denomination quarter dollar is inscribed along the bottom. The national motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is inscribed between the eagle and the upper legend. This design speaks to the traditional values and symbolism that were common in mid-20th century American coinage. In terms of composition, the 1994 D Washington quarter, it's made of a copper core layered with a copper-nickel alloy, giving the coin a silvery appearance. This clad composition was adopted following the Coinage Act of 1965, which eliminated silver from circulating coins due to rising metal prices. The result is a durable and cost-effective coin that has served the public well for decades. Though it lacks the intrinsic value of earlier silver quarters, it remains an important and widely used component of the American monetary system. The condition of this specific 1994 D quarter is described as having some scratches. This is a typical trait for coins that have been in circulation for a long time. Scratches and wear marks can occur from years of handling, use in transactions, contact with other coins, and general exposure to environmental elements. These signs of wear do not significantly impact the coin's usability, but they do affect its appearance and potentially its value in the eyes of collectors. A coin in circulated condition with noticeable scratches is usually not valued highly in the numismatic market, but it still holds interest for those collecting by date and mint mark or for educational purposes. Scratches may appear on both the obverse and reverse of the coin and can vary in severity. Light hairline scratches are common and often result from normal handling or movement within containers. Deeper or more noticeable abrasions might come from rough contact or being dropped repeatedly onto hard surfaces. Despite this, the major design elements of the coin, such as Washington's portrait and the eagle, remain clearly visible. This resilience in the design is part of what has made the Washington quarter such a lasting and dependable piece of American currency. From a historical standpoint, the year 1990 was a relatively stable period in the United States, with no major overhauls in currency or significant changes in the minting process. The mint continued to produce large numbers of quarters to meet public demand for cash, and coins remained a vital part of daily commerce. Denver, the minting facility responsible for this coin, has long been a key player in the distribution of coinage to the western part of the United States. Coins from the Denver Mint typically bear a D mint mark and are known for their quality and consistency. Although this particular quarter may not be rare or valuable in monetary terms, it holds significance as a small piece of everyday history. Each quarter represents countless transactions and interactions in American life, whether used at a grocery store, placed in a parking meter, given as change, or collected by a child beginning their numismatic journey. These coins travel vast distances and touch many lives, and even one with a few scratches still carries the legacy of the American economic system and its reliance on dependable physical currency. Collectors and enthusiasts often see coins like the 1994 D-quarter for date and mint mark collections. While most circulated examples with wear and scratches are only worth face value, a coin in uncirculated or mint state condition might attract interest among hobbyists. Additionally, some collectors enjoy assembling complete sets of Washington quarters by year and mint, making even common dates like 1994 essential for a full collection. Next up we have the 2003 Illinois State Quarter Dollar is a commemorative coin issued as part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. This program began in 1999 and ran until 2008 with the goal of honoring each of the 50 states with a unique design that reflects important aspects of their history, culture, or natural features. Illinois was the 21st state to join the Union on December 3, 1818, and its quarter was released in early 2003 as the first coin in the 5th year of the series. The design on the Illinois State Quarter represents a rich blend of the state's political significance, its agricultural heritage, and its connection to one of the most iconic American presidents. The reverse of the Illinois State Quarter features a prominent image of a young Abraham Lincoln who spent much of his life in Illinois and began his political career there. Often referred to as the land of Lincoln, Illinois is closely associated with his legacy and influence. In the coin design, Lincoln is shown standing and facing forward, dressed in a long coat with a book in one hand, symbolizing education, learning, and leadership. The background showcases a map outline of the state of Illinois, with a star marking the location of the capital city, Springfield, which was Lincoln's home and remains a central part of the state's identity. Alongside Lincoln are additional visual elements that represent other important aspects of the state. A farm scene can be seen on one side of the coin, representing Illinois' deep agricultural roots. The farmland includes a barn and a field, symbolizing the importance of farming and rural life in the state's economy and history. On the other side of Lincoln, a city skyline with tall buildings points to the urban development and economic growth centered around cities like Chicago. The contrast between rural and urban imagery reflects Illinois' diversity as a state that is both a major agricultural hub and an industrial and commercial powerhouse. The phrase "Land of Lincoln" appears on the coin in a straightforward way to honor Abraham Lincoln's lasting influence and his formative years in Illinois. His journey from a modest upbringing to becoming the 16th President of the United States is one of the most inspiring stories in American history. Illinois residents take great pride in their association with Lincoln, and the quarter design captures this connection in a way that is meaningful and respectful. The obverse side of the coin retains the standard design used in all state quarters during the program, which features the profile of George Washington. This portrait, originally created by John Flanagan in 1930, has been used on U.S. quarters for decades and includes the inscriptions "United States of America, Liberty, in God We Trust," and quarter dollar. The mint mark for the location of production also appears on the obverse. This particular Illinois quarter is in good condition, which means it has been handled in circulation but retains much of its original detail. Coins in good condition often show light to moderate, with some minor surface marks or slight smoothing on the high points of the design. However, all major elements of the design, including the map, Lincoln, the farm, and the cityscape, remain clearly visible. Collectors consider a coin in good condition to be a worthy addition, especially when completing a set of all 50 state quarters. The release of the Illinois State Quarter generated interest not only from coin collectors but also from historians, educators, and people with ties to the state. It served as an opportunity to reflect on the historical contributions of Illinois to the nation, including its role in shaping political leaders like Lincoln and its impact on both agriculture and industry. The coin's design encourages discussions about history, geography, economics, and citizenship, which was one of the original goals of the 50 State Quarters program. One of the reasons this coin remains popular among collectors is the universal admiration for Abraham Lincoln. His leadership during one of the most challenging periods in American history continues to be celebrated, and his image on the coin connects people to a time when the nation faced enormous trials. It also reminds collectors and citizens alike that leadership can emerge from humble beginnings and that values like honesty, perseverance, and justice are timeless. The Illinois quarter also provides a visual representation of the state's dual identity as both a rural and urban space. This blend makes Illinois a unique and dynamic part of the American landscape. Chicago, with its rich cultural institutions, architectural achievements, and economic influence, stands in contrast yet harmony with the expansive farmlands and small towns that form the rest of the state. This balance is captured artfully in the coin's design and is one of the aspects that makes the coin so meaningful.